Hello, everyone, and welcome to American Scousers post-match Liverpool 2, United 2. Yet another game that feels like a loss, even though it is not a loss. Bunch of us over here. More to come on the way, I'm sure. Serzi, Brian, Kazi. Serzi, let's start with you. What do you make of that 2-2 draw?
I knew it was going to be tough. I'm just glad we didn't lose. It's I don't know. Our forwards are just so shit. Salah's picked the worst time of the period to play like Aspas. And if we're gonna sell him, I think his price has dropped from like 200 million to like 20 million.
No, man, I knew Sergi was going to have the overreaction. See, that's why I started with him. Now we'll come to Kazi. We'll calm down a little bit more, put things into perspective, right?
It's knee-jerk reaction right now. I'm emotional.
Let Sergi pop that blood pressure medicine in. Kazi, 2-2. I mean, it's a draw that feels like a loss.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah, Liverpool should win the game. You know that, don't we? Liverpool had loads of chances, and the forwards will understand as well. We still thought there's plenty of positives to take. I thought we dominated. I thought Kwanzaa was, at the time, those 10 minutes after the second half, I thought we were still in control and dominating the game even more, because more space, and then they get a gift, and then flow of football changes, because people don't want to be embarrassed. Like United don't want to be embarrassed, and they get a gift, and Liverpool give them a gift. Liverpool, the more that game goes 1-0, I still expect Liverpool to win 3-0. Do you know what I mean? It's just is what it is. But that's how, how momentum works in football, guys. We've all been there. You know what I mean? Being, for example, taking an early lead against Barcelona, and then momentum changes and swings. Like, that's football. Do you know what I mean? As much, and I agree with everything that you're just saying about the strikers, we should win the game. No one's arguing that. Of course. A young kid made a mistake. Do you know what I mean? And then their second goal is an excellent finish. So it just is what it is, but it's not the end of the world. I still expect Liverpool to win the next 7 games and win the league. That's my opinion.
That's odd you say that, because I thought, actually, the more it went 1-0, I felt the other way. I felt like we're just setting ourselves up.
I know what you're saying.
Counter and stuff.
But I thought from the 45th until Kwanzaa scored, I thought we were excellent to get still. Where if United were getting into the game from second half, Tim, I would have went, oh, fucking hell, this could go another way. But because from the 45th to the 55th, Liverpool still on top and creating, I was like, inevitable, then we're just going to score, and then they get a gift. But I know what you're saying, because you're being scarred by the FA Cup game. But
it's not like really run of play. I guess it's more like a paranoia that we have built in, or at least I have freaking built in successfully over decades over here. Brian, what do you make of that game? Like, it's easy to pick specific moments and say, oh, that mistake and stuff like that. But let's face it. I mean, any other day, this game is an easy win.
It goes back to what I was saying. Like on Thursday, we have a constant thing where we just want to overpass, and and try and look for that perfect moment of there. And I think we had a lot of that today, right there. I mean, I saw Mo trying to go pass the ball off right there to Diaz a couple of times. It's just constantly there. I think we're mentally trying to find that perfect moment to score, and instead of just being on instinct. And I think that we lose. We were so wasteful in that first half. That's the biggest disappointment right there, was that we should easily have probably about 4 or 5 goals in that first half that we just came there and basically pissed away. I mean, honestly, really, I'm pretty disappointed right there, and I kind of in between Serzi and Kazi in the field, but right there, it's like, I think that this could be a watershed moment for us right there, but and I think that we just now gave Arsenal a clear advantage.
Yeah, to be fair, Kazi already set the table off right before we were leaving the pre-match by saying a draw does not really end the season or anything like that. And it is not. I mean, especially now with the draw, I think a loss would have felt a lot worse, to be honest with you. But even then, there's a lot more games to be played. I still say Spurs will be the one who decides the title winner. But John, obviously disappointing, but what do you make of that score?
When we were down 2-1, the priority was just to get a result, come out with something. And there was no way we could have afforded to lose that. And thankfully, we did come out with something there. Obviously, we're all talking about the performances and everything, and rightfully so, right? But listen, if you gave me a point at Old Trafford at the start of the year, throw context away, right? Throw the context of the title away. We take it all day long. And listen, everyone was ready to hang themselves after the game. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. And you'd be, listen, Kazi said it multiple times during our morning shows. If Arsenal win out, fair play. But come on, guys. They're probably not going to win out. They're probably going to drop points here and there. Same with Manchester City. So listen, this is a slight slippage, but it's not the end of the world. Obviously, it could have been better. But listen, I think calmer minds will prevail. We've been here before in a title race, so I think that's the message that Klopp is going to be, kind of emphasizing in the locker room. Okay, guys, bad day, but we still got 7 games to go. Let's do what we can. Right?
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan says, all in all, May will be fun. Palace up next. I got a good feeling Arsenal and City either draw again, and if not losing. I mean, I still think neither one of them will run the table, and City doesn't matter. If we still win out, we still win. Arsenal will be the one. Gally, by the way, if you're joining us via Instagram Live, you can always hop on the YouTube side as well. Obviously, we have that giveaway going right now, so a lot of action on Instagram, and we are on Instagram Live as well for our show. But Facebook, YouTube, feel free to subscribe and join in over there as well. But yes, definitely follow our accounts and follow the stories to 3 accounts you got to follow to qualify and tag a person to qualify for the McAllister signed jersey, who was, again, just a class act. But Gally, like I say, I don't want to pick too much on performances because it just feels like, again, we knew United lets the most shots. So I think getting a lot of shots is no accomplishment against this team. But it was just like we just could not finish. And most of them really were not on target. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I mean, in the second half alone, the Nunez crossing the 6-yard box when he should either shoot or drop it back to Szoboszlai. I think the announcer kind of made it out like he had to drop it off to Szoboszlai there. I think that was actually would have been like the worldy play for him to do, but I don't even know if he saw him. Mo's sitter on inside the 6-yard box has to be on frame at minimum. And then the Diaz one late. That's probably the hardest of the 3. But again, all of them need to get scored if you're going to come back and win a game where you make up for deficiencies. And we had deficiencies today. To Kazi's point, I think we were in command of the match overall at 1-0, even in the second half. Wish we finish off the match at 2-0 in the first half on either Szoboszlai or Mo's opportunities. We didn't do it. But we still are in the run of the game, and then the kid makes a mistake. Even then, we're at 1-1. The second goal is pretty weak defending in the box. I'm always touting on Jones. He didn't have his best 30 minutes. Let's raise our hand and be honest. He turned the ball over late, but that happens. Blaming Jones today is crazy when everyone else, with all the bad 90-minute performances we had, a guy can come in and give you 25 rough minutes in a match that's helter-skelter and all over the place against your rival on the road.
I'm surprised Gravenberch wasn't called out. I'm sorry, guys.
Don't worry. Someone on social media will find a way to blame Gravenberch and probably Gakpo's energy for why we didn't show up in the first 45 minutes. But I just think, Temujin, what we saw today was the legs are kind of falling off these guys a little bit. I think there is a little bit of gas running out, and I don't mean it like it's a shot at them. They've been asked to do yeoman's work with all the injuries, and these kids have done it. We started 2 teenagers at Old Trafford in a must-win match. We didn't feel great about it, but we had to do it, or at least the manager felt we did, and it didn't work out. So we got to regroup, but I'll say this right now. All 3 teams will drop more points between now and the end of the season. So the team that wins it is the team in the last couple weeks that can string together 9 points out of the last 9 or 7 out of the last 9. Because I think Arsenal and City drop points, and I think we drop points along the way as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean about the legs, but this has been, Mecca was saying it earlier in the comments that, we just don't. I mean, we broke a freaking record in the Sheffield game in terms of like percentage and of like possession and stuff like that. But I've heard, Sergi, probably has been a theme, like Mecca says. The last 3-4 games, I've heard Klopp say after the game that we were rushing it too much. We told the boys to relax and then, be able to finish. Why? Is it just the pressure building that's causing this rushing? Or like what Brian was saying, like kind of like trying to make sure we're tapping it in and it's like the perfect pass. Mind you, that Nunez pass, I don't know what he's doing because he's looking to the middle. I don't know who he's seeing. He is passing to an imaginary friend because he did have a time to look like that's the past. But don't get like I say, there's so many little moments that could have been better. But why do you think that rushing? Because I feel like that's what it is. It's a panic in the box when we're attacking.
I don't know. I just think Nunes against the bigger teams, he just doesn't turn up. It's like Lukaku has, because he was saying, you know, a couple of weeks ago, like, you know, Lukaku showed up against the smaller teams, but it just seems like Nunes is a bit of a flat track bully right now, and he's there, he creates opportunities, but he just, I don't know, he just freezes and he makes poor decisions. Elliot, I don't know what else he needs to do to start. He needs to be one of the first choices every game now. He comes on and he changes that game. You know, he got that penalty. I don't know who you dropped for him, but yeah, it's and you know, the Diaz, he's run his legs up. You know, I buy the whole thing into the gas running out for Diaz, but for Salah and Nunes, I don't know. I don't think. I just don't know what's going on with them. I don't think they've run out of gas. Not Salah, especially not Salah. He hasn't played enough to run out of gas.
Yeah, I mean, we were almost converting you on Nunez, Kazi, and then I'm afraid that we probably took.
It's like 3 steps forward, 4 steps back with the Nunez-Kazi relationship, right? Like,
yeah, in a rare moments you do.
He's not good at footy, you know. He's not good at footy, you know. He can't be good at footy. He's not good at footy. And listen, he'll cause problems and havoc, but his technique and that, he's not good at footy, you know. It's a bit like the Ireland situation, you know. You're playing with 10 men sometimes, but you'll score a goal. So it's a bit like, I know, and I don't want to just dig on him as well, because I don't think anyone was perfect today, but,
right.
But it comes down to, again, as we just mentioned, that these lads are playing out the skin with 3 starters, 4 starters, not starting the game, like Trent Alexander-Arnold. Imagine his passing today. Imagine the space that fucking Conor Bradley got, and you were giving Trent that, you know what I mean? The old goal Jota with the chances that was getting created.
Yeah.
He walks off with 4. You walk off with 4.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Ali in goal. Do you know what I mean? Ali might have been 10 steps further back from where Kelleher was, or doesn't get chipped. We don't know.
Ali also has a shot on Manu's goal. Not that Kelleher does anything wrong.
No.
Ali just has better instincts, and Kelleher gets flat-footed there, and you can see it. He had no idea the kid was going to shoot, and that comes from experience. And I'm with Kazi there. We're down 4 starters today.
I know. The biggest question is today, mate, with the Kwanzaa situation,
right.
is that Joey's to blame on that. Is Kanate? Because why aren't you starting?
Yep.
But isn't that the same thing with Kanate all the time, though? I mean, could he? You could have string of matches together.
I mean, you pick his match. The match is now. You don't pick at Atlanta. You don't pick Palace at all. The match is United away. I want you for.
Well, I don't understand, why is he playing against Sheffield then?
That's what I'm saying. That's on the manager. That's on the manager.
That's on the manager.
Well, I understand that, though. I mean, this is what I mean. We can pick on like Kwanzaa's error, and we talked about the right-hand side before the game started, and sadly, like, our worries came to fruition. But my thing, I guess, John, is, you know, when you look back, like, this is a game we should have easily won, regardless of if I was starting at center back. It just looked like it was a game. The game was there to be won rather easily, mind you.
Yeah, it's always easy with the benefit of hindsight, right? Like, oh, we should have started Kanate with like the Kwanzaa error and all that. And to be fair, I woke up late, right? So I didn't make the pre-match. I was surprised that Kwanzaa was starting, you know, for the record. But yeah, I think someone mentioned it on the Discord that it should have been 4-1 at that point by the Kwanzaa error. It shouldn't have mattered, right? It shouldn't have mattered. And this is a young kid who's over-delivered for us considerably this year. Like, if there is a time to back our players, which most of us are doing, it's probably right now. And it's not a fatal blow. Again, it's not a fatal blow. This is kind of, I guess, the difference from our best teams towards this team. Mane, Firmino, Salah, at their best, kill that game off very quickly.
Yeah.
By the first half, it's done, I feel. So this, again, we kind of forget that this is a team still in semi-transition, bringing in a new midfielder, integrating all these new, you know, attackers and all that together. We're in excellent stead, even after this draw, tied for first. So, yeah, sorry, Gal, you were saying something?
No, I'm just saying, but I mean, I agree with you. Mane, Salah, and Bobby probably killed this game early. But, you know, Mo, Szoboszlai, and Nunez had a chance to kill this game as well. So I don't want to, you know, and we, you know, I know everyone's jumping in. You got the Nunez support, you got the Gakpo haters. This is what happens, right? We put in a 2-2 draw at United, and we decide to dig in on every single player, including an 18-year-old kid who had to get playing at Man United, who made a badass mistake. Would I have liked Konate to play? Yes. Do I think the manager got it a little wrong today with his subs and with the way he set up the team this week, playing 3 matches this week? I think he could have done it differently to have Konate fit to start this match. But he saw it differently. Maybe he literally thought to himself, I'm more worried about Ollie McBurney actually going up against an 18-year-old kid and elbowing him in the face in the first 5 minutes and getting a goal for Sheffield. And I want the more physical Konate playing against the relegation team that's going to lump it forward. And I want the kid playing at Trafford. I thought the mistake was Bradley today, not having Gomez from the start. But Bradley did well. He went forward. He looked good. He created in the attack. So, I mean, everything seemed to work. If 1 or 2 of the chances go in the first half, it's a completely different match.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? The chances, and we can go back to the last 3, but one of the comments on Instagram Live says if we had Jota, that game was
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I said it.
John hit the nail on the head. Mane, Salah, Firmino kill the game. Diogo Jota kills the game.
Yeah.
like, do you know what I mean? He was our form striker before he got injured. He was an unreal. Trent Alexander-Arnold will kill the game. If you're going to give him that space, he kills you. But with Wan-Bissaka playing left back, he kills you. But this team is doing extraordinary things. Like, again, I keep saying, if Liverpool win the next 7 games, I believe we win the league. So I believe it is in our hands. If they go to Old Trafford United and win, Arsenal, go to Old Trafford and win, go to Spurs and win, go to Wolves after you play Bayern Munich, fine.
Yeah.
Right? Go and win the league then. Because I think if Arsenal win out, they win the last 19 or last 20 games. Okay. You deserve to win the league. I can swallow that. And I can put my head on the fucking pillow and go sound it. But I don't think they will. So a draw, yes, as much as Liverpool, it feels like a defeat, and it's not nice because United fans will be celebrating it, thinking they cost us the league. They haven't cost us the league. They haven't. Who cost us the league is literally Liverpool in that effect. Because Liverpool should have took the chances. If that's what you want to say.
Yeah.
But it comes down to it. We can break down games, Tim, right, throughout the whole season and go, well, we got points to looting away. Did anyone mention that?
Yeah.
No? It took a last
I think,
minute.
it goes back to what Paul is saying, though. Like, yeah, sure, Jota kills the game, Ali makes a save. This team is good enough to beat this United side. We played good enough to beat the team.
But are we good enough to beat Luton?
Brian, like, that's probably why it feels like a loss. We're talking about it like we're talking about a loss over which is crazy at like Old Trafford away. And regardless of how shit United is, going to Old Trafford was always going to be tough. We were talking about it during the week that this was one of the biggest hurdles, in the title run. But Brian, we've been talking about this a lot now, where we dominate, and it doesn't always translate into goals. Is it just form? Is it just pressure? Where do you put it?
I mean, I put it with a lot of mentality. I mean, I said that last week. I think that we're mentally draining ourselves right now to try to get this perfect set-off for Klopp. And I think that, and again, it goes back to what I said about perfection, and trying to do this and get the perfect pass, the perfect goal, the perfect everything. I mean, we should have blown this side away. I mean, the first half right there, it shouldn't even been an answer, kind of like seconding what everybody's saying. Before the Kwanzaa mistake, we should already been up by 3 or 4 goals by then, right there. But again, we're just trying to go there and have that perfect moment to send Klopp off right there into the pastures and stuff like that. And it's just mentally killing this side. I think that we just need to get back to basics and just and put the ball in the net. I mean, go with instinct, and I think that once we get to that mentality of that, I think we'll be better off. I think we can I think we can win every match out. I mean, right there. But we just have to go in there and stop wanting this perfection. We gotta stop. I mean, and just play.
Yeah, I mean, we're using the word mental a lot. And one of the comments on Instagram Live says, we cost ourselves with mistakes and missed chances. Nobody can point the finger anywhere else. We're still going to have to, but the mentality isn't there. Luton is a perfect example, he says. Why do you think that is, Gally? I mean, we talk about, it's almost like we're putting the foot down, but not pressing and finishing off the game. This has happened quite a few times now. And is Europa almost like a good break in the action to kind of regroup in that sense?
You're on mute, Gal.
Your mic is off. But the best thing you said all day, so that's there.
It was the greatest soundbite I've ever had on the entire channel. Someone clipped that shit. No, I genuinely think that Europa's fine and dandy, and it can be a great break if you score some freaking goals. But you got to score goals, right? We got to get going. Like, this is what it comes down to. When this club is fully firing in the 8 years that Jurgen Klopp has been here, is when we are free flowing and we are scoring goals and we are full of confidence and we feel ourselves going forward. At times we did it on the counter. At times we did it in possession. You know, this year we started doing it by getting actual chipped in goals from the midfield early in the year with McAllister and Szoboszlai and Elliott, right? And it was different for us. And we were like, this is all changing. Ultimately, we went back to relying on Mo Salah, our number 9, whoever that is, the guy in the middle, Mo Salah, and our left winger to score. Like, we went back to relying on our front 3. And honestly, if they're not firing, we have trouble. And that, to me, I don't want to talk about, you know, what it looks like in the future, but I do think this club is probably in need of one new quality top-level finisher, striker. I think they need a player that comes in and bangs in goals. And I know we have them in bunches, but I do think you see it sometimes here. And I know Jota's coming back and Gakpo's getting back into form, which is great to see. I thought he was okay for his little cameo today. He didn't have enough time, and they didn't give him any opportunities. The one time, I just wish he didn't try to slip that ball into Diaz. I wish he had turned and shot. That was his moment, and he didn't take it. But that's what happens when you're lost in your head and you read a bunch of honks like us calling you a hack, slow, and fat, and not trying hard on social media for 7 days a week.
No, I'm in no position to call anybody fat. But John, actually, I mean, the thing is, you know, it's not the lack of goals. It almost feels like the timing of goals a little bit, doesn't it? Because I mean, this team has scored more goals than City actually in the league.
Yeah,
it just feels like the goals are not coming in a time where we can kind of put the game away. We're always playing catch up.
Yeah, and I think Gordo shared this on our morning coffee Discord server, that we have arguably the worst, no, not arguably, we have the worst record against the top 6 in the league. So I guess we're talking about, you know, this club being in semi-transition, bringing in, you know, this new midfield, integrating Nunez and Diaz on that, you know, attacking front. That is the next step. Well, that should have been the next step, right? We're beating the teams that we should beat, but then we should also, you know, get some wins, get some results against the teams that, you know, that are kind of at our level or that are slightly better than us, maybe. So it's a room for improvement, and unfortunately, Klopp won't be around to address it. Not thinking about too much of the future, you know, but it is what it is. We have one against Spurs, right? One more against Spurs in terms of that mini league. So if there's time to start redeeming ourselves, getting on top of that table, it's then. But listen, if we don't win out, it's a very low hanging fruit to pick. I would say our record against the top 6. So there's that.
Yeah, I mean that's the deal, right? Like I say, it's been a matter of timing more than anything else, and it's hard to fault. Like I say, it's just freaking pathetic that a draw at Old Trafford feels like a brutal loss. But obviously, you know, we're gonna talk about it more on like the Monday morning show and Monday podcast. So as we wrap up over here, we'll start with you, Kazi. Since you're usually the more positive one, maybe we should have started with Serzi so you can finish it off on a positive note. But
he just sold Salah for 20 million.
If it wasn't Serzi, we'll sell all of us and get somebody. Well, how do we move on? Obviously, Europa is next. Hopefully, you'll get a chance to rotate, and then Palace at home. What's the next step? Is it? It's just like I feel like we're a little overreacting, but if I'm saying that, that's saying a lot.
No, I think it is an overreaction massively. I think Liverpool are doing top. Goal difference, okay, fair enough. No problem at all. We can swallow that. I think a point at Old Trafford is always a good point, in my opinion, at the start of every single game. As much as we should have won the game, no problem. I can swallow that. I would rather be playing Atalanta at Anfield than going to the Allianz or Bernabeu this week. I can tell you that for nothing, lads, because they've got some horrific fixture for both sides who are in our race, which also makes their side the games in the league after that tougher. I think Arsenal play Villa at home. So we just need to relax, guys. We have 7 games to go. 7 wins will probably win you the league. We just need to put things into context as well, that we do have our big hitters coming back, including Bajcetic, by the way, who could play a big part of this as well. So we just need to relax. It's frustrating. I know. I understand all why the annoyance of no one likes dropping points to United. They're going to feel like they've won the league, and no problem at all. But they're none of our business. They're none of our business. I do not care. They're fighting with Spurs for 5th and about 12 points off them. So don't worry about it. I don't care what happens to Man United from here on in. And by the way, the last thing I want to say before I go, really nice of John there for putting United in the top 6 league, because I don't think they are really. Let's just relax.
The old top
this is
six.
this is why we
The
need the
old
guy
top
that,
six.
This is why we need the guy that Tim was saying to fact check everything we say. So
They won the lottery today. Yeah, they won the lottery today with their chance. They took their chance, fair enough. They won the lottery, we gave them a gift. Liverpool are still in the title race and can still win the league. So let's stay positive. I don't want to hear about sporting directors. I don't want to hear about new managers. I don't want to hear about next season. I don't want to hear where 10th best position is. I don't want to hear about Cody Gakpo or Curtis Jones or Darwin Núñez. Liverpool win 7 games, you win the fucking league. Laters.
I go with that.
That is a way to. That's a way. That's a way to just disappear.
That's a way to close.
That's basically a drop the mic and I'll just back out of here. I'll just walk through this wall.
we should have left Kazi for last. Jeez, like
we should have, right?
Yeah,
Kazi's right. Thiago comes back. So yeah, I mean, on that note, Ox was working on.
Yeah, to go ruin it.
I mean, while we're sitting here in the world of make believe, I think we might win 8 of our last 7 matches. Actually,
Brian, real quick, your parting thoughts.
Again, like there, it's not the worst result, not the best result. I'm just gonna go and celebrate National Beer Day here in a few minutes, right there, because it's I kind of think I need one just to chill out.
National Beer Day, Sir Z.
I don't drink, but anyway.
I know, that's why I threw it to you. What are you gonna do?
I've got 8 hours before I break my fast, so no, I think the fact that we drew and we're disappointed with a draw just shows how far we came, how far Liverpool have come in the last few years, and that ultimately, give it a couple hours and I'll settle down. And but yeah, if you can't, we haven't beaten the top 6 this season. So if you don't win the league, it's because of that. It's not because of this one result. But Manchester City haven't been with anyone in the top 6 either, really. And Arsenal are the only ones who have. And if they win the league, that's what it comes down to, and shows how far they've come. But yeah, just need Jota back, need Salah to stop fasting and get back on form. And I think we're just overthinking up front. It's like I think Brian said, the instincts have gone. If you look back how Mane and Bobby and Salah were scoring before, it was just instinct. It wasn't thinking; it was just instinct. And we've lost that. It's like the forwards are it's like, okay, do I shoot? Do I pass? Like they're just overthinking shots. That is what it is.
I think the problem is sometimes you talk that into existence too. Like, when you're confident goals are going in, it's a lot easier to just take that shot. When you know you need to score, you overthink things and you don't take the first time shot and stuff like that. Sparky says the dogs aren't getting fed today. They are quite upset with our lack of finishing. I can tell you that they were up in arms down there. So it's been I'm trying to calm them down as well. I'm telling them Jota is coming back, so they should be fine. But, John, parting words from you, sir.
Thank fuck Gravenberch didn't play. Because for some reason he's gonna get absolutely crucified for coming in for the last 2 minutes. But in all seriousness, we go again. I need that win on Thursday to kind of settle the nerves there, get people back on track. It's far from over, right? It's far from over. If you've given me this scenario where we're down goal difference with from the top of the league with 7 games to go, bite your hand off for it and all that. So yeah, it's disappointing. Not the end of the world though. So as Stevie G said, we just go again, right?
He was a slip.
We should have ended with Kazi, but do your best Kazi impression.
Thank you.
No luck with that.
These teeth don't light up a room. What the hell's wrong with you? I got a trip to Turkey for that shit. But a different show for a different story for a different day and a different show. This is my thing about this match. I think when you get a point at Old Trafford, you have to accept it. You don't have to like it, and we don't have to like today's match because we saw it and it played out in front of our eyes. But we were down 2-1 in that match, and there's a very good chance we don't get anything out of it. Yeah. And this would be a completely different story if we had dropped all the points, because it would have not only felt like a letdown, it would have felt like a let off. Like they let us off the opportunity to make this run in. And I'm with John. I'm a big sports fan. I've been watching sports all my life, and I've always said, give me this for that, and I'll take it. And if you had told me after 32 game weeks, we would be top of the table joint and behind on goal difference and a point ahead of City, I would have taken it all day long. And especially knowing that we dropped so many points that we have against our primary rivals, you know, losing to Arsenal, drawing both times with City, the 2 draws with United. And I understand they're not in the big 6, but in the minds of the league, they are still. Into Liverpool, they are. Yeah. I just think this is one of those moments where you realize why the little margins that change everything. And I think that's why we have to just focus. And, you know, to John's point, at least he'll get to see his boy Gravenberch in Italy this week, because I think he'll be playing on Thursday, and I hope he plays well, because we actually need all these players to start playing well, so it pushes the rest of the players to play better in the starting 11. And I think that is something that's happened too, is that our bench is kind of, other than Elliott, has really kind of fallen away to the point where we're not getting enough that it's pushing our starters. And I think you see some of that complacency at times in the play. So hopefully guys will get back, we'll get fit, we'll get ready, and we'll start winning games. But I know what, we'll be back tomorrow night at 8:00, and there will be some bitching, because Paul's going to be there.
We'll be there, yeah. It's not the losing, it's the way we lose, Sparky. We didn't freaking lose, Sparky.
Yeah, we didn't lose.
It just feels like we lost.
It feels like it.
But it does. That's the best way to end this show. It's not the losing, it's the way we lost this draw.
Yes, exactly. But hey, I mean, yes, we'll definitely tomorrow with the morning show we'll be back on, and then tomorrow night's podcast at 7:00 Central. Thanks to all those joining us today on Instagram, on YouTube. Do not forget to throw your hat in the giveaway we're doing on Instagram, along with like Liverpool goals to get the McAllister jersey. And do not forget to head on over to YouTube and give us a subscribe over there as well. We definitely appreciate the support. Thanks a lot, gentlemen. And try to enjoy the rest of your Sunday. But then we'll get ready for the next one coming up. Thanks a lot, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the weekend as much as you can. Take care.